Sanzett, we can hear Wade on the live. I
Yeah,
went on
man.
YouTube and we're hearing him.
All right. I'm just not sure what was happening. All right. So you're hearing Wade, Renee.
Yeah, man. Not only here, but on YouTube as well when he spoke.
Okay. Okay. All right. So give me 1 second because persons are saying they're not hearing. So I want to ensure that we are good. All right. So just give me 1 second. But I am not hearing anything. All right. All right. Wade, can you say something?
If I can say something or can I play something? Which
Say.
one?
Say something, please. I don't want you playing anything.
My playlist is not so nice sometimes in a sense, but I say something.
So I am not hearing you on the live.
You want me to drop and rejoin?
Please do. Please do. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. What's going on?
All is well.
Can you hear me?
I am hearing you here, but I'm getting to understand that they're not hearing you on the live.
I'm not sure why. Because I'm hearing you pretty clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Let me just check if I. 1 second. All right, so people, if you are still not hearing Nicholas, then you can let me know. Nicholas, I'm going to ask you to say something and let me know.
Yes, I am here. I am here. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you clearly, but I'm not sure why they're not hearing you. All right, so I was told that we're good to go. Renz, you want to say something so I can be sure that we're hearing you?
Well, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
I am hearing you from my end. I'm just trying to have my technical team let me know if we're good to go. All right, so we're good to go. All right, so welcome again, Nick. We weren't really ready for you yet, because we just started. So we wanted to ensure that we got you in the latter part of the show. But if you want to stay on, that's fine for the entire show. We'll be more than happy to have you.
Okay,
Um,
we can chill for a little bit.
Perfect, not a problem. We have another analyst coming on. His name is Wayne Weathers. And welcome again, guys. If it's your first time joining, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Remember to share, let everybody know what's going on. Like up the videos. And don't forget to comment. Let us know what you want to hear from us. Also, let us know if it's something encouraging. If you have any form of comment for tonight, recap, just jump into the comment section and let us know. All right. Don't be a stranger. We're all one big lifestyle family. All right. So welcome again. Welcome, Nicholas. Welcome, Renee. We're waiting on Wade to join so that we can start. Later on, we should have Daveon from KLAS joining us. All right, so I'm just going to send him the link so that he can join. And I don't forget when the show get nice, I forget to send him the link. All right. So Renee, what's up? What's going on? National championship just finished. I know the J3 is putting together the world championship team. What's going on? How you feel about the championship?
Uh, I mean, it was a good championship time wise. Lots of surprises. Lots of surprises. The high point of the meet for me was Rashawn Clark. I mean, from the previous show that I had him to win, it wasn't really a surprise, but the time that he
Mm-hmm.
ran was a surprise. That was the high point of the meet for me. And as you can guess, the low point of the meet for me is Elaine not making the team. But it was a really good meet. 1065 from Sharika. Um, Seeing Shelly opening our season. Some of the younger athletes that we saw at Champs year over year coming through to make their first senior team. Akira Nugent. Um, the field events. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen so many field athletes step up and producing world class performances and looking like, even though some of them haven't met the world championship qualifying standard based on the world ranking and the quota system, it's looking like they will be making the team to Budapest. So it was a good championship overall.
Okay, awesome. Nicholas, you want to jump in to tell us your thoughts? Before you tell us, Nicholas, can you please? I mean, I know you, of course. My apologies. I don't know if everybody in YouTube lifestyle land is familiar with you. So I want you to just go ahead and introduce yourself for me, please.
Okay. My name is Nicholas R. Powell. The R stands for greatness. And I am the CEO, chief consultant of the Mind Game Consulting, which is a performance psychology consulting company working with individuals and groups to help them prepare the mental side of um, performance, to help them to get there to achieve optimal performance. Um, I've been in this field for over 15 years. Certified coach from GC Foster, ran track just before Sanzett at Stats, and also went to Jamaica College, went to GC Foster College, went to Mackenzie University, and just a whole lot of experience in sports and track and field. Mostly track and field. Done work with soccer, reggae boys and reggae girls, and have recently signed a contract to provide support for PUMA athletes. So I'm a PUMA ambassador in the sports of track and field. Yes. So,
Awesome.
I
Thank you,
remember
Nick.
to leave out anything, but yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you can go ahead and tell us your thoughts about the recent national championship.
It was very good for me, especially for me. I had several clients who were successful in making the national team to Budapest, to the World Championship team to Budapest. So that was very good for me to see them perform, where they are coming from, where they are now to make the team. I saw a lot of great performances outside of my clients. A lot of great performances just to see the times and the competitiveness, especially in the men's 100. That was pretty good. The 400 hurdles, which was previously mentioned. The women 100. Who else that was impressive to me? There were some impressive performances. There were some setbacks and some hurt feelings. So yeah, it was definitely interesting to see the changing of the guards, as we would call them, because a lot of the younger athletes stepped up and started showing their dominance and stepping forth and say, yo, my turn. So that was really good to watch.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Wade, you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Awesome. I want you to, because we were just, sharing our thoughts on the recently concluded national championship. So you got back just in time for your time. So just go ahead and give us your thoughts.
A successful championships. There were some surprises. There were some very good performances. There were some average performances and below standard performances based on what we would have seen all season and hear from the various camps. Overall, the excitement I had going into the championship remained at the championship, and after I'm still excited. So very successful championships. A lot of very great performances. Some, as I said before, some very surprising performances came out too. But I'm not going to preempt the discussion, but just want to say very good championships.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. So we gave our overall, feeling of the entire championship. For me, it was very exciting. As Renee said, I mean, we had, well, in my head and watching him, go through the entire season. So as a photographer, I would have been, privy to see Rashawn running through the entire season, character trials, champs, all of that. And to actually see him come up against the big guys and not just win, but the time, the second athlete, Jamaican athlete, to actually run 47, over the 400 hurdles. It's a big thing. He's only 19 years old. But we're actually going to start, and I mean, just sitting on that, we're going to dive into the 400-meter hurdles for women and for men. We're going to dissect a little bit. We don't want to spend the entire night on, this live, but we want to look at as much event as possible and the surprises, that came with the result for some of these, because last week we would have, basically shared, or what we call it, who we wanted to win or pick, right? And some of us, our bet get bust up, some of us, our bet came through, so we're just going to talk a little bit, and just share the surprises and even, like dissect the races a little bit. So let's talk about the 400-meter hurdles and then we jump over to the men. So I'm just going to ask each person, to just tell us a little bit of your thoughts as it relates to that. Wait.
My bet.
Oh, Renee, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My bet for the 400-meter hurdles. Well, as you say, we think it get bust up. it sure did. Because I had Cheyenne Salmon winning, and she was not in the top 3. I had Janive Russell out of the top 3 based on what how she was running since the season started. But she surprised us. Mm-hmm. She had something in store for us. I think Wade had said if we see her come there with her head tied, then we know something is going to be, and so said, so done.
Once there's color,
yes,
there's a lot going on.
I know. So that was a surprise. I mean, the other 2 persons that ended up second and third, it wasn't really a surprise. It's just that the winner, and I wouldn't say it's a surprise because you can't rule her out in its entirety. I'm just, based on form for this season, she surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, for the women's hurdles, major upset there because, as Renee would have indicated before, Janive Russell was definitely not showing the type of form that she showed at the championships. And when I say show the form, I mean she really did show form, because it was not just the 400-meter hurdles that she really created some upset in there. But on the 400-meter hurdles, it was really a good race. I think 200 meters in the race, nobody even saw Geneva Russell come in. She really did a lot of work on the final stretch there. 53.70, very good time. 73, very good time as well. Not one of the most competitive times when you look globally what's happening, but she is a performer. The championships is her stamping ground. This is not the first time she would have pulled the upset at the championship. Great run from Anjanette Knight. Great run from Rochelle Clayton. I am a little surprised based on form and what we have seen from Cheyenne Salmon that she was not successful in making it into the top three. But from the race that she put together, it really showed that those other ladies who finished ahead of her really came prepared to do a little bit more and pull off a surprise to actually finish in the top three. But overall, very good race. Very the three women are really looking good.
All right, Nick.
Yeah. Again, wasn't surprised by Russell. I didn't have her to win. Actually, to be honest, I was just there to watch the race, not necessarily to bet on anybody. But it one thing I know with her, she's a championship competitor, and our camp always seem to get the athletes ready in time for the major championship. So there was no question, regardless of where you see our athletes doing through the development meet. When I work with my clients, our focus is always we're putting it together for the main championship, right? So don't worry about the times you're running in during the development meets. Don't worry about if you execute the race well. Your objective is to test some things because you don't know what somebody is working on. So she was able to put together the race that she needed to put together on the day that it really mattered, and she got it right. It was good to see Clayton step out also consistently, knowing how to make it to the championship, making it to the world championships. She put it together, so it was good to see these ladies put their race plan together and execute it to the best of their ability on that day. I was able to get those results.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much. And personally for me, I mean, when I went to Stadium East, though, I think it was the first day, I was saying to myself, well, I was saying it to someone, another photographer, that, I mean, Genevieve had her on her hat, and we were saying once we see a little color, then a lot of crazy things are going to be happening.
Yeah.
Because, it's like once, as a woman, once you do your hair, it's like it does something totally different. I don't know about the men. But it is
yeah,
like
you get a nice
yeah, it boosts your confidence.
Our way get him lax. Twist up and sing it. You don't know a proper thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
boosts your
definitely true. But for Genevieve Russell, or for Genevieve Russell though, it's her signature style. Once you see there's a different color in the hair, she is really in a different gear. She moves with her hair color in terms of her gear. I'm gonna be honest though, after watching the race, I think she knew where she was at in terms of her preparation.
Yes.
But I didn't get the impression that Genevieve came out expecting to win the race either. I think she just came out to ensure that she was on the team, but not necessarily to win the race.
Okay. And we're happy that she did, and we want to say congratulations to her. All right, so let's talk about, I think it's probably the second most exciting event for me, and that's the 4 hurdles for men. And remember, guys, to drop a comment and let us know what you think. Let's talk up the things. So who wants to go first? Rashawn Clark.
Um,
Go
for
on.
me, this was we knew Rashawn was in form. He was my pick to win the race. Um, my pick to run the second fastest Jamaican time was the time was unbelievable for me because I never expected to see such a fast time. But to win the race, most certainly. I think this one played, especially for the top two, it played to what we would have seen all season and what we would have come to expect it. Um, Running 47:75, it says a lot. That's the world junior record on for the world under 20 record. That's the second fastest time that a Jamaican would have ever run close to the national record of 47:60. And that's the fourth fastest time in the world this year. I don't think anybody went into the national stadium on Friday night expecting to have seen that time. Great performance. He pulled along a good field too, because that was really a good field. It was good to see Jahil Hyde with him there up to 450 meters, but he somehow found the last 50 meters. He found something that a gear that we've never seen from him before. And that gives me hope for the future, especially for the four hurdles, because for the last few championships, we would have not necessarily been successful at that event in terms of making it to the finals or even making a name on the world stage. Jahil made it to the last finals, but before that, I think the last time we really made it to the finals would have been with Leaford Green, which would have been some time ago. So very, very good run there. Very good perspective. All three guys who would have finished in the top three made the qualifying standard time for the World Championships. And for Rashawn Clark, I think it's not just about the 400-meter hurdles. We've seen him lower his PB over 400. I think for me, he would be a real good leg to put on that 4x4 team. So definitely good work there. There are still a few things that I know he needs to work on, and I hope both him and his coaching team will go to the drawing board and fix those areas, because I do think now he is looking at, okay, cool, I can get to 47:60. And if he would be able to get to 47:60, it is even possible that he can get onto the podium in Budapest.
I believe so too. Nick?
So I agree with most of what Wade said. Um, I had Rashawn to win based on what I saw from him running, and especially because earlier this season when he ran the 45:24 personal best, I said to myself that that's going to make his four hurdles significantly faster. What I disagree with is putting him on the 4x4, simply because though he has a 45:24 personal best, all our guys know it's not back in the day or a couple of years ago where we had guys struggling to break 45. We have guys now, we have guys running 45 and sub 45 who are capable of running very good 4x4. So I don't necessarily think he's needed on the team. Maybe a couple of years from now when he lowers his personal best again, I would consider it, but not right now.
Right. Nick, what say you?
Uh, I really hide me that cheer for. Me that cheer for the veteran. Because I've seen his growth over the season, just putting his race together, and he looked like he was in shape to take it. The youngster just came through, and as you say, it was a well executed race. They look really good up to 380, 370, 380, but youngster just get slow by him. So it was definitely a good race to watch. Honorable mention to Rockford Theatre, who was in the finals as a veteran and everything. He seemed to work
Definitely.
his way through the finals, and was in the top. I think he got fourth or fifth.
Yeah, he came fifth.
Yeah, he came fifth just to see him out there. So it was good. It was a really a good race to watch. As we say, the changing of the guards. to see the youngster come take over and did a really good job. And I think both of them they push it. I can see both of them in the final.
Sunset, before we move from this, there's something that we definitely have to talk about. So for me, I've been looking at the championships and looking at times overall. Apart from the 47, which is one of the very first, it is one of the first time we've had more than one man that have gone 48, 50 and below at the same championships and local style. And we must congratulate that because third place, who is Asani, will also run 48, 50.
Yeah.
Which is very good improvement for him because I think that's a PB. So when we look at this event too, we are looking at some very good young men who are coming through the ranks and doing very well, running fast times on Jamaican soil. For a number of years, we would go to the stadium and we're seeing mid-49s there for the 400-meter hurdles. Now we're looking at 47 and second and third place in a very competitive 48 mid there. So this is one of the events that I think we shall see some good results in the future.
Definitely. I
And
totally agree.
can I take a moment to also commend the coach,
Yeah.
Stuart, who has consistently produced great hurdlers. I, I think that now the name of the track club is Swept.
Yeah.
Swept Track Club. He has been doing an excellent job producing athletes over the years. And it shows that he has a system that works for the most part. So definitely want to commend him on the job he's doing at home to keep producing these great hurdlers for the world stage. Definitely want to commend him on that.
All right, totally agree with everyone when it comes to, basically what's happening. We're sticking to the 400, right? And we did the hurdles. Now we're gonna kind of just throw the two of them out there together, and that's the 400 women senior. That's this women and men senior, and the girls and boys junior. Who wants to go first so we can talk about it? Wade, finger. You and Nicholas have your finger on your lip.
The women's 400 meters. This would have been a major upset. I don't think anybody had Nikisha Price on the cards for winning.
Definitely not
I
me.
didn't even have her in my top three, and I must shout out to my Veer fans because as a former Veer boy, I was sitting in the stadium beside some former junior athletes, and the cheering that they made for Nikisha, it was just so phenomenal. And they turned to me and they said, but we're gonna celebrate, and I'm like, I'm in shock, so let me just be in shock. She really did pull that one out of the bag. She led from start to finish, ending with a very good PB of 50.19. That's very good, especially for someone who is just coming off the collegiate season where she would have had several races under her belt. Major upset because for me, I really did have Cherokee Young winning this event. She placed fourth in the event, actually. I had Stacey and Williams up in the top three as well. She didn't come out for the finals any at all, even though she had qualified. I had seen Candice McLeod making the team, so that's not a surprise there. What I did not see was Jenny Russell coming in second in a new PB of 50.78. I was not expecting her to come out to the finals after running a successful 400-meter hurdles. And not only that, also looking at the fact that she would have run a total of 6 races within a 4-day span. That shows the strength of what she has to offer right now. She did a really phenomenal job. You could see that she was working her arms, she was pushing, she was going for it, and she was really running down Nikisha Price as well. Very, very good run there. A little disappointing to see the likes of Cherokee Young to see that she would have not been successful to be in the top three. For the championship team, we know she would have had the qualifying time for the World Championship. We're not sure exactly what is Jenny's plans. I actually looked at the World Championship lineup and the schedule of events, and if she was able to do this over the weekend, it is possible that she can actually do this in Budapest as well. What I'm seeing though, and what is impressive, is that the two top hurdlers in the world right now, which is Frankie Ball and Sydney McLaughlin, they are both running some strong 400 meters, working on that speed right there. And for Genevieve to be running the 400 meters as well, to build on that speed, bringing down a PB of 50.7, it shows her strength. It shows that she is not only looking at herself, but she's also looking at the other competitors and trying to make a difference as to what she has to offer as well to get close to them. I'm hopeful to see what these young ladies has to offer. I think this is a major confidence boost for Nikisha Price, being just 19, 20 years old, running such a fast time. And I look forward to see what they have to offer on the global stage.
Definitely. Nick?
Weird cannot say. Weird
You
cannot
said
say.
it all.
You encompass everything that I think most of the fans were thinking. It was really good, a very competitive race, and to see Genevieve also compete that way, it was exceptional. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully, I'm hoping that she's able to. It would be nice to see her another 400, but we really want to see her on the top shelf for the hurdles. So anything that's going to take away from that, I would recommend it. But again, our team know what they must prepare her for. And I think whatever she line up for, she will be prepared. So I'm looking forward to that. The juniors, I didn't get to watch the juniors, unfortunately.
Wait, they saw any of the juniors?
Of course, I saw all of the juniors. I saw all of the juniors, but I think we should give Renee a chance at the senior women, and then we can do a roundup of the juniors. Renee?
Or the senior men? Renee,
Why, as you get to the senior men, it's my name call, and you guys know I'm in mourning.
I'm in mourning.
You know my heart hurt to watch that race. It on the 100-meter hurdles. But I actually had Antonio Watson winning the but Sean Bailey really, really performed up to standard. It was a really good run from Antonio, seeing that he actually ran another personal best. So it looks like every time he touches the track now running a final, he's gonna run a personal best. Nikisha Price. I wouldn't say it was a surprise. My surprise of that 400-meter race was Genevieve coming in the top three, to be honest. I wouldn't say I was in mourning. I think somebody asked me why I was in mourning. It's just was a bittersweet meet for me, seeing as some of my favorites either weren't there due to unforeseen circumstances or didn't perform up to standard. Watching the 400-meter without one of my faves was one such event. So,
who was one of your favorites?
Why everybody laughing? Christopher Taylor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is he one of your fave or your fave? Which one?
Your fave.
One and the same.
When you talk about the men's 400 meter, I don't think anybody would have recognized it. Sanzett shortly after the race, I pointed it out to you. this is one of the first time in Jamaica's history that we are having two men run
Yeah.
below 45 seconds at the national championships. I had Sean Bailey to win. I saw him winning from before the season would have started. I had Antonio Watson there to challenge as well, but not so close. And I'm going to be very honest, I didn't expect him to be so close. But I've said this for years. Renee, you can back me up here. I've always thought that Antonio Watson should go back to the 400 meters. I think he has the build for the 400 meters. I understand that everybody likes the 1-2, but for the 400 meters, you look at Antonio Watson. He doesn't have the height, but he reminds me of Michael Johnson when he actually runs the 400 meters. Not as aggressive as he is, but he really does remind me of a Michael Johnson. For the race itself, very competitive from start to finish. He did not give Sean Bailey Sean Bailey got that 1 meter lead on him from the start, and that was it. He never gave him a chance to go a second further. Very good for two men to have gone under 45 seconds at the championship. This is the first time that I've seen two men under 45. For third place, I like Daveon Powell for third place. I was hoping for a faster time because he would have not met the World Championship qualifying time as yet. He's at 45.02 for the season, and the standard time is 45 flat. We've had two other men though, Raheem Hales as well as Zandrian Barnes, who we had mentioned before on the last podcast, at 44.90, who would have qualified. Zandrian actually came fourth. So we are right there, it seems as though Daveon might make it for one of the relay teams, but not actually an individual spot. Very good to see the 400 meters reviving on the men's side again. We would have not seen the 400 meter looking how we wanted it to look for the last two major championships. Chris Taylor would have been the person to carry our flag there. Now, even in Chris's absence, a short absence, Renee, we are seeing that persons are coming through. I must mention, though, I'm happy to see the return of a Javon Francis. Yeah. I'm a little sad that he did not make it to the finals, but if you're a lover of track and field, then Javon Francis is one of those talent that you are happy to see back on the track, running, doing well. Honorable mention as well to Demish Gay. He really looked very good there as well. He just never had the speed to keep up with the younger boys. Antonia Cox was looking good as well. So therefore, the crop of men that we see in the 400 meters is really looking good. The World Championship schedule has the mixed 4x4 being the very first day. I think we can put together a very competitive team based on what we've seen on both the men's and the female side for the championship, where we can actually challenge. There will be some very fresh faces, fresh feet as well. So very good at the championship for what we have seen from both male and female on the 400 side.
Thank you so much, Wade. I just want to pause to welcome Daveon Nugent. He is a commentator from KLAS. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Before we throw it on you, I just want to jump into the comments and just want to say hi again to everyone. Sports Block says, don't want to put too much pressure on Clark too early. No relay team for now. So he's agreeing with Renee. Sports Blocks also said Genevieve should do her 4 hurdles. I strongly believe that she will medal this year. So fingers crossed. Someone, Shem Hall, says Demish Gay and Nathan Allen Wade has gone under 45 in the same championship before. So thank you so much for sharing your views. Now, Daveon, we were supposed to have you last week, but you don't know. This is the week for you to be here. And I just want to thank you so much for joining. We spoke about the 4 hurdles, and the surprises that it brought. And we're actually on the 400 meter now. And I want to give you 2 minutes, to just round up the 4 hurdles and the 400 men and women and give me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I'll start with the easier one of the 4 events, the women's 400 hurdles. Coming into the championships, It was pretty easy to pick who were the top four. I actually picked top three, and for some reason I left Jellyfish out of the top three. But Jellyfish is a trials performer. She comes to trials and she makes teams. She outperforms herself at the trials. She's done that year in, year out. The challenge for her, though, has been when she gets to the big championships. She just doesn't seem to be able to put the championship performance together at the World Championships or the Olympics. However, this is the year to do it. We're looking at if Sydney McLaughlin, Femke Ball perform, I think they go away with bronze and silver. But then, sorry, not bronze and silver, gold and silver. But then you're looking at the bronze, and I think the bronze is there. It's up for grabs. Delilah Mohammed, who in former years would have been one of the favorites. She hasn't looked as good over the last few years as in past, but again, she's a championship performer. Or three girls that will be representing us at the World Championships. All three of them went sub 54. So there's an opportunity for all three of them to come through and grab that bronze medal. Make the team, you're on your way. For the men's 400 hurdles, again, I don't think many surprises there. If any surprise for folks, it would be how fast Rashawn Clark went. I saw him run the 45-2. I saw him run a pretty quick first 300 meters of the 400 hurdles about 2 weeks before trials. Saw Asani Wilson 45-5. Saw all of that. Jahil Hyde coming into championships. And it was pretty clear who the top three was going to be. It was just about separating them. And after the semifinals, it was pretty clear that Rashawn Clark had a step on Jahil Hyde. So again, no surprises there. Move to the 400 flat, where there were, I'd say, lots and lots of surprises, particularly on the women's side. Particularly with Jellyfish, Genevieve Jellyfish Russell getting that second place. Didn't see that coming any at all. But what I understand happened was that the 400 ladies, in the likes of Stacey and Williams and Cherokee Young, picked up some niggles right before championship. So particularly in the case of Stacey and Williams, she wasn't able to turn out for the finals of the flat event. So opened up an opportunity for the hurdlers, and they took the opportunity. They went in, made top 8 and made top 3, and they're now having the option of whether or not they want to, especially in the case of Genevieve Jellyfish Russell, whether or not they want to go ahead and represent in an individual's position on the 400 flat. I don't believe she will. I think she's going to focus on the hurdles because, again, I think there's a spot available on the 400 hurdles where she can possibly medal. So you don't want to.
All right, so it seems like we're having a little technical issue with Daveon, but in the meantime, let me jump into the comments. Sports Block says,
You
Sydney's
hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you better. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Looks like digital had a little bit of a wobble. On the men's side,
All right. So in the meantime, between time, Sports Block said Sydney's coach said she will be running only the 400 meter. So it seemed like there is not only the bronze, but there might be a goal for us because, we're going to put ball in second. So Jelly might just, So, I mean, it's hurdles. Anything can happen.
am I back?
That's
Yes,
kind
you're
of wishful thinking still, Sanzett. That's really.
She showed up at championship when everyone
somebody at
ruled
the
her
podcast
out.
even ruling out Dalila Mohammed, and
Yes.
I mean, I would never rule against a Dalila Mohammed.
It's hurdles. Anything can happen.
I don't even think
I
Dalila
definitely have
is
Fecky
the
Bowl for
threat.
me to
But
finish fourth
I'm not
Femke Ball
position.
I'm not
is the
running
winner.
after Delilah Muhammad though.
I don't hear you.
I'm not saying Delilah Muhammad will not medal.
No, no,
I am
I was
saying that
saying
Delilah Muhammad is not the
no. What actually sparked that, was the fact that I said, someone in the comment, rather, Sports Block said Sydney's coaches should only be running the 400. So I'm saying it's possible that we can take gold. I'm just saying.
Sure.
well Femke Ball.
That's a
I'm just
high
saying.
bar, Sanzett. That's a very high bar, Sanzett. Extremely high.
You have to go
I
around
believe in
51. You have to go
Jelly.
around 51. At least 51.
But yes, Davian, continue. You were saying
Um,
you have 1 minute.
yeah, let's just put it out there. Yeah, let's just put it out there. If Femke Ball is going to be running, she's going to be the solid favorite for gold. I don't see anybody except Sydney McLaughlin beating her. Let's go back to the men's 400-meter hurdle. Not 400-meter hurdles, 400 flat. I think Antonio Watson misjudged his race a little bit. I think he relied on his closing speed in the final 50 meters of the 400 meters to win at the national championships and against Sean Bailey that was never going to work out. Sean Bailey, like Antonio Watson, has excellent closing speed in that final 50 meters. So once Sean Bailey got that step on him, it was always going to be difficult for Antonio Watson to reel him in. I think Antonio Watson is still working on his race plan. In past years, he would have taken the first 300 easy and then come on in the final 100. I think he's still learning how to run that first 300 hard. And when he does learn how to run that first 300 hard and judges his race pattern correctly, he's going to be a handful. He's going to be a real demon in that 400 flat. In terms of the other results, though, I think I was a little bit disappointed. I know everybody is talking about two men under 45 seconds, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that result. But when you looked at what we had coming into those trials, I think you have to be a little bit disappointed. Sandra Barnes, who ran sub 45 coming into trials, I think he messed up in the semifinals. Got a bad lane two, and he's big, he's bulky, he's tall. He was never going to run fast in lane number two. The collegiate athlete Javon Powell, who again is a championship performer. He comes to trials and makes teams. Won last year, top 45 last year, but hasn't managed to break the 45-second barrier this year. Ryan Hills, who has broken the 45 barrier this year, born in the US, choosing to represent Jamaica, did not manage to get sub 45. DeAndre Anderson, who interestingly started the year with a personal, or came to trials with a personal best of 45.89, took his personal best down in the first round to 45.2, then took his personal best down in the semifinals to 45.02. I was looking for one more little run to get him under 45. Didn't happen. I mean, I have to be grateful for two sub 45, but coming in, I was really hoping and expecting that we would maybe get 3 or 4. Maybe a bridge too far this year, but looking at the talent that is coming through, it is possible that next year, an Olympic year, we might get that at trials where 3 or 4 guys go sub 45.
All right. Thank you so much, Davian. Love that, love that, love that. Guys, remember to share the live, so other persons can jump on. Remember, if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and remember to share. And don't forget to comment. Let us know what are your thoughts. All right, we're gonna jump into the field event.
Hold
At
on,
the field,
Sanzett.
yes,
Before
dear.
you jump over,
You have 30 seconds.
before you jump over
Mhm.
on the junior side, Dejanay Oakley super performance. Jahil Bell of St. Jago super performance in the 400 and the 400
Yeah,
meter
in the
hurdles.
hurdles.
Um, Antonio Powell of Edwin Allen super performance in the 200 and the 400 meters. At the junior level, the 400 meter looks like we are returning to where we know our middle distance, our sprint 400 meter is coming from, and it is heading back in that direction. And it was really good to be in the stadium to see those wonderful performances on the junior level. Very good performance from them.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. All right. We're going to jump into I think we lost Daveon is trying to get back. All right, awesome. All right, we're gonna jump into the field events, and I think we did exceptionally well in the field events this year. You know, a lot of persons rising up and they're just doing their thing. Now we're gonna talk about the triple jump, the long jump, the discus, the shot put, and the high jump. And we're gonna try as much as possible to be very short. I know you men are just, so passionate about sports. All right. So I'm gonna give each of you 3 minutes to share your thoughts and let us know. All right. So we save Wade for last. All right, Nick.
I'll go first.
Daveon, all right, go first.
All right, no problem. Just before I go, just want to mention as well. I mentioned the 400 flat for women and did mention Nikisha Price. Nikisha Price started the year 53 seconds personal best, managed to get down to 50.2. Awesome job for her, national champion. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what she will do next year. She's in the camp with Brittany Wilson and all of them. Looking forward to see what she does next year. In terms of the field events, I'm happy. I'm super happy. Track and field and sport in general is about not necessarily jumping out and doing something. You don't necessarily see people come out of nowhere and just win gold medals. You first have to establish a base. You establish your base and then you build from your base. And what I'm seeing coming out of Jamaica's field events is a real establishment of the base from our youngsters. And when I say youngsters, I'm talking about the likes of Reggie Stoner, who finished second in the discus throw. I'm talking about the likes of Jaden Hibbert, 1768, to win the trials. And for me, folks, I'm going to tell you straight up, Daveon Nugent says that Jaden Hibbert is the favorite for me. In the triple jump at World Championships, he is the favorite. And I think he breaks the world record soon, and he's going to set something out there that no man will touch in a very long while. Jaden Hibbert is a super talent. But let's get back to the base. Wayne Pinnock, national champion, 8 meters 33 is being solid 8 meters 30 jumper this year. I think he improves next year. And when he improves next year, he's going to be a solid contender for gold. Ranjika Campbell, he's going to not like this, but I've been getting a little bit tired of seeing Odean Richards winning the national championships every year. So it's nice to see a youngster in Campbell coming up and throwing over 21 meters and winning the national title. He's established a base, and hopefully he gets bigger throws next year. So, I mean, when I look all around, how could I forget the women? Akeelia Smith, Lamar Diston. When I look all around, the national long jump champion, Tisana Hicklin. When I look all around in the field, so it's not just one person in particular, it's the entire field event category. Everybody is getting better and better and better and establishing base. We got the Nayoka Clunies. Oh my God. How could I forget her? Over 71 meters this year. My mind is just blown right now. Romain Beckford in the men's high jump. I know I'm forgetting somebody in the field. No, I'm forgetting, but the point I'm trying to make is our field event is move. Our field eventers are moving from a position of a few years ago of mediocrity to a position now that they are challenging and they're building that base. And I think in another year or two, we may see our field eventers coming up and getting big medals for Jamaica, gold, silver, looking maybe even to get into double digit field events medal. I know it sounds crazy, but they are establishing that base and they're getting better and better. So awesome performance from the field eventers at trials, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they produce at the World Championships this year and the Olympics next year.
All right, thank you, Davian. Wade?
The sentiments could not be louder. The field events, our pre setting that we had, I did indicate that the field events is the strongest that we have seen in several years, and it did show. When you talk about in the discus, we have 9 men over 65 meters. You're talking about a major feat right there that a lot of countries would have not seen. For me personally, it was a surprise in the shot put because it was not a name that I knew. And Sanzett, you and I did some research to find out exactly what was happening there. Going 21:05 at the national championships, it is super good right there. It's not one of the events that we find a lot of younger people gravitating to. So I'm hoping that this pool of guys will pull some of the younger generation into the event because everybody just wants to be a sprinter these days. But the field event is as lucrative as the track. Um, in terms of the field events this year, I really, in all honesty, I'm going to give the field events a better performance than the track. I know that might sound weird, but yes, I'm giving the field events a better performance than the track. When you talk about an Achilles Smith coming off of the collegiate season, coming here, doing 2 events, and actually medaling in both events, going off to the World Championships, you're talking about great performance there. Um, when I saw the Kisana Hicklin jump there, I was like, that really needs to be a legal jump because it was super big. And I'm really happy that it not only was a big jump, it actually meets the qualifying standard time for the World Championship at 6:85. And that's a major boost for any athlete coming out of your national championships, heading into a World Championship. Um, Shanika Ricketts, as usual, knows how to win on home side, know how to put together a great performance. Very good there. Sunset, I shared a little secret with you after I saw Jaden Hibbert and how he was approaching. I'm not going to say it for the podcast. I even shared something with you again earlier this week. I'm not going to say it for the podcast, but I
Not
have
yet.
to agree.
Not yet.
I have to agree with Devon. He is actually working on something special. I think his coaching staff is looking at it too. They have something in mind. And based on what I saw at the championship, the adjustments that they made and how they went about with the adjustments, I think we're in for something very exciting from Jaden Hibbert. The long jump, it went according to the books, but it was a little disappointed in terms of the height. I really was hoping for a better height there, but very good. Daniel Thomas Dodd throwing very well on local side. I think she threw 19 something or 1890 something for I think 1895 to win her title. And that's a very good and competitive throw when you look at the world rankings right now and the standards out there. I was excited about the men's long jump even before I got to the stadium. And when I was in the stadium and I saw what was happening, I got even more excited. Um, when you look and Wayne Pinnock came out and he did a fantastic jump and then he got better. When you look, I'm very happy to see that Tajay Gale is in very good health. He's in jumping form and he really looked like he has a lot more to offer. He looks a little cautious when he's taking his approach towards the pit, but he looks like he's in jumping form right there and there. The 827 that he did on his second attempt really fired him up, and he had 3 jumps over 8 meters. I think all his legal jumps, which are all 3 legal jumps, were all over 8 meters. That's definitely someone who is in form and ready to jump right there. Kerry McLeod looking very good as well. And when I look, I think there was a total of 14 men in the long jump. That's a lot of men to be at the long jump at the local level. I think something is happening there. And I think we can look forward in the future, as Devon would have said, to see our field events coming through to dominate in the near future. Roger Stoner would have done very well there as well, both in the discus and in the shot put, coming second in both events. So I think for the championship, I'm expecting a lot from the men, but I would not be surprised if they are not as successful at these championships. However, I think getting that experience, because what we've seen over the years is that an athlete get the experience on the global stage and find that confidence, and that moves with them throughout their track and field career. So I am hopeful for the championships, based on what we've seen in the field, and let's see what happens. The excitement is there and the buzz.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Nick, you wanna jump in and share anything?
No, just real quick. As you guys do a great job breaking down the field events. I just want to reiterate how exciting it is to see the field events, how we are doing, and putting up marks that is competitive enough, right? And it's just not there. We have winners 1, 2, 3, but none of them reach qualifying standard. Not very many reach qualifying standards to go on to the world stage, as we had mentioned. So it's definitely good, and it's not just a few events; it's across the board, right? So I know my friend Dads would be very pleased to see, field events getting some level of shine um, on the world stage. So looking forward to Budapest and how well they'll perform. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Nick. I know you have to go, but we really, really want to hear from you. And we have just 2 more events that we want to talk about. And then we will, because we don't want you to share your, piece before. So I'm just asking you to bear with us. 2 more events. Before we go to those 2 events, I see someone was saying hopefully Stacy can go as a part of the relay team. Hopefully. Monique from Canada says great opportunity for our ladies, which is very, very true. I don't know if Track Hero is asking the question or actually making a statement, but the person is saying we're sending Nayoka Clunis in the hammer throw. If that's a question, I'm not sure. Once we get the list, I'll definitely post it, so you can always jump over to my Instagram page at Sanzett_lifestyle. Ensure that you follow. Once we get the list of the athletes going to Budapest, then you definitely know I'm going to post it there and ensure that I pin it so you all can find that info.
Did she meet the qualifying standard?
Wait, we know you are the man in the books,
I don't think she's made the qualifying standard. That's but she is in the list
The top 32.
of qualifiers. Top 32. That's it. She's in the top 32.
In the top 32.
All right, definitely. So
right. So it is up to Gateway to select her.
All right. So once it comes out, like I said, I'll definitely share it. So ensure that you go over and follow on Instagram. And remember, guys, to subscribe, because we're going to be having every Thursday, we're going to be here on a live and leading up to World Championship in Hungary. All right. And it's going to be Road to Budapest. So we're going to ensure that we're here every Thursday doing a live. So ensure that you subscribe and share. All right. So we're going to be talking about the 200 meters. Men and women. Who want to go first? Talk to me, people. 200.
The 200 meter. It was an exciting event on both sides. I am a little disappointed with the time on the men's side. However, very good competition there. Andrew Hudson would have won as expected. We had Rashid Dwyer in second place on the men's side, which is also expected. Tracy coming third place was really not on the cards, but very good performance. The thing about it is that we can't give the races on paper. It's really about persons showing up at the championship and showing out, coming out of the blocks and doing what is required to make it to the team. Dwyer knew what he needed to do, and he did it in the semifinals, which was to run the qualifying time for the World Championships, which is what you would have needed. Johan Blake went after it as well, running 2031. He didn't get there and ended up finished fourth in the overall 200 meters. Our guys, this is one of the actual areas that I think we need to definitely work on if we are going to be competitive on the global stage. The Americans have dominated this event the last 4 major championships. And I don't think with the times that we saw at the championship, we will knock that pan anywhere at all. As it relates to the women's 200 meters, no surprise there. I was sitting in the stadium and I said that Sharika is going to run at 21.7 for the 200 meters, and she did. Mrs. Fraser-Price looked extremely well, both in the heats as well as in the semifinals. And I don't think a lot of people noticed this, but Sharika never caught Shelly until 110 meters in the race. That tells me that Shelly and Fraser-Price is not going to give up that 100-meter world title so easily. So Sharika is working on a lot of stuff, but Shelly seems like she's in the corners there working too. That was a very good event for me. Third place went to another American of Jamaican heritage who decided to run for Jamaica. I've been checking if her accreditation has come through. I'm still out on that as yet, if she would qualify to run for Jamaica. I'm a little disappointed that Kevona Davis was not able to make that team. She would have finished in 5th, actually, which was a little disappointing for me personally. But overall, for the 200 meters at the senior level, on the women's side, it did produce a little bit of what we would have expected. A few ingredients was missing from that 200 meters. When you talk about a Brianna Williams being missing, you're talking about Elaine Thompson-Hera being missing. A few pedigree athletes was missing from that field. But at the end of the day, the ladies and the gentlemen showed up and did their best on the day. They are making it. They've made the teams. And it's now time to go back to the camp and figure out how to actually remain competitive, make it to the finals, and just represent. I preferred the junior side of the 200 meters though than the senior side. The junior side had a lot more to offer in terms of competitiveness and times. When you talk about the young man from States, he had a lot of fire under his skin and a lot to prove. He was given a fast start in the 100 meters at Champs, and that really put some fire under his skin. I think he also was charged with a fast start at the Carifta Games in the 200 meter. And so coming out and running, I think he ran 21.5, and that was real good coming from that young man. Antonio Powell again from Edwin Allen doing the double. Sabrina Dockery doing the double. And one of my personal favorite, Tiana Lee Terrelong from Edwin Allen looking very good as well there. So for the two, I was more excited for the youth side of the 200 meters than the senior side, but overall, very good performance from our athletes.
You want to go next?
I can go next.
Yeah, man, you get it that one.
All right. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
Natalia and Kevona, though they did not finish in the top 3, could not shut the season down just yet. Keep the spikes going. The reason I say this is because, as your guest just said, I'm not 100% certain that the eligibility has come through for the 3rd place finisher. That's Lane Tavia Thomas. I'm not sure that it has come through for her. In regards to Shelly as well, I know she ran a pretty quick 200, but it might be that she decides this season to run only the 100 and forgoes the 200. So Natalia, Chevona, message. Don't shut the season down just yet. There might just be a surprise in it for you guys, so don't shut the season down just yet. No, on the men's side of things, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it was expected. I'll be honest with you. I was expecting the disappointment. Here's why. On the men's side of things, the guys that are running fast right now are basically 100-meter sprinters. The Akeem Blakes, the Oblique Sevilles, Kishane, all of them. They don't run much 200. They run basically 100 and done. So where the speed is coming to for Jamaica, it's not coming to in the 200. It's coming to in the 100. I think before we start to expect faster times in the 200, guys like Brian Liddell and you mentioned Javor Dunkley and Adrian Carr, those guys who are sprinters who run 1-2, those guys will have to start coming through before we see some improvement in the 200 times, as well as Antonio Watson. I think Antonio Watson is capable of running some special 200 meters, but he's focusing right now on the 400. So Jamaica, if you're looking for some fast sprinting from our men, you probably have a little bit of time to go. And Andrew Hudson, though, I think he's going to be a solid representative for Jamaica for the next couple of years until we make that transition with the younger guys, the Levels and Cards and Dunkleys coming through. I enjoyed the run from him. So good performance from him. And I said I'm going to keep it short and spicy. So make my third point and just continue on. Shelley and Fraser Price. Shelley and Fraser Price. Run left. Sherika Jackson on the curve. That is not even a discussion. The argument that there is up. She beat her up to the curve. Listen, Shelley is in spanking form in the 100. We're not talking about a Sherika Jackson who's learning to sprint. We're not talking about a 10-9 Sherika. We're not talking about a 10-8 Sherika, or about a 10-7 Sherika. 10-6 Sherika, this is brother. And Shelley beat her off the curve. Sherika did have to run down Shelley. So those who are concerned about Shelley's abilities at the 100 and how she's going to do and all of that, she is in fantastic form. She looked good. She looked good. So it's going to be a battle royal, and folks who already put on them medal and win them medal because them run 10-7 and them run 10-6, y'all in for a surprise. Y'all in for a surprise.
Yeah.
You heard that, people?
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Nikki, have anything you want to share?
No, well said. Yeah, Shelley was impressive. Shelley was very impressive. And the question is, did Kevona and Natalia meet the standard?
Lavanya has this standard and Natalia White also has a standard. I'll have to double check. I think Kevona has a standard, but I'll double check and let you guys know before we're out.
That would be good. That would be good if
yeah, man, all of them have the standards.
So that would be good, especially if Shelley doesn't decide to run the 200.
Right.
I do believe that Shelley and Fraser Price is going to run the 200 meters in Budapest.
She has been hinting, you know. She has been hinting.
I believe this is the last championship that we will see Shelley double. I think she's going to go out this one fighting out. Once her fitness is where both herself and her coach wants her to be, I think she's going to come out. Not even if not for her, but to support her friend Sherika Jackson, to have a friendly face there that she knows will push her over the first 100 and 200. Because I do see our 200-meter world record going this year.
Where's a rabbit? Shelley, I can play a rabbit?
Well, she's going to play a rabbit to a silver.
Yeah. No, forget what you said. Like, she going to eat, Yes, she got competitive because you don't know she
Yeah,
did
man.
that.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan, man.
I
One
mean,
Shelly
That sounds like a
let's
plan.
Lifestyle.
be honest.
I'm
Let's be
telling
honest
you,
here, guys.
I'm telling
Let's be
you,
honest
run
here,
out
guys.
of.
When you look at Gabby Thomas at 2160, when you look at Shakira Richardson at 21-7, when you look at Sharika Jackson, I mean, Mary Jose Talu can put together a good 200 meters if she's in that form. Daryl Nita is only doing the 200 meters. She'll be coming with fresh legs. You're talking about some African. The name of the young lady who came fourth last World Championships. You're putting together a really good 200-meter field that we have not seen in a very long time. What you can expect from that is running, even if it is going to be between Gabby Thomas and Sharika Jackson. Sharika loves the 200-meter from her junior days. And now that she has found her sweet spot there, I do not see Sharika not crossing that line in first. And it is not going to be easy for her to overall a Gabby Thomas, who has brought down her 400-meter PB as well as run some 100-meter to get both the sprint and the strength. The 200-meter is going to be very exciting this year.
I believe so too. It's gonna be hot.
I think the 200-meter world record gets broken.
Okay.
I'm looking at 21:33.
Whoa.
The 100-meter final. I
Something around there. I think because of the competitiveness that we're gonna have this year, particularly if Kelly runs it, you're gonna have that quick starter, someone who goes around the curve rather quickly. So there'll be a target for Sharika to aim at. And then you're gonna have Gabby, whose specialty or whose strength is strength, who's going to be there with her the last 150, 180. She's going to be there with her, so she's not going to be able to ease off the throttle any at all. She's going to have to run to the line, and once she does that, I think she goes ahead and breaks the world record. That's Sharika Jackson.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like it's gonna be hot, people. Hot, hot, hot. So you have to ensure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can stay informed. And we're gonna talk about the 100. And the 100-meter for me, especially the men, was special. And Daveon, I know it was special for you too, because I was there. You know? So we're gonna talk about the 100-meter.
Well, we are Tabo, man. Hey, listen. I'm not going to tell you I've been doing this thing as long as the likes of Ricardo Chambers or Sean Grant, any of those guys who are there for it. I'm not going to tell you that. But I've been doing this thing now probably for what? Since 2016, 2015. So just about 6-7 years. And over my tenure in broadcasting and being at meet and trackside and all of that, over that time I've seen some talent. Some of them are obvious talents where everybody say, yeah man, him fast, or yeah man, she fast, or yeah man, I'm gonna jump big and all of that. But over that time, I've seen some youngsters who have obvious talent, but have not had that talent developed because of the schools that they're at, because of sometimes even parents. Parents don't want their kids in track and field. So it's sound convoluted, but some parents just don't believe that their kids can manage school and sport. They choose sport. So over the years, I've seen some real talent, and some of that talent has not been necessarily obvious to persons. One of the persons that I've seen over the years that obviously had talent in my eyes, but not in everybody else's eyes, was Rohan Watson. The first time I saw Rohan Watson was not in 2023, was not 2022 or 2021. It was 2018. So about 5 years ago. So that tells you how long ago I saw this youth. So I'm at Gibson Relays running for York Castle on their 4x1 team. Another youngster was on that team who's actually at MVP as well, Dominic Williams. And I saw both of them on the relay team, and I said to myself, no man, I have to interview that little York Castle team here because them York Castle are really known for sports, right? They're not really known for sports. I know that they don't really put as much into the event as some of the big schools at Calabars and all of them. And I'm looking at this team and I'm like, but hold on, the team have a little bit something about them. So I interviewed them, and Ron Watson was one of the guys, Dominic Williams was one of the guys, and up until COVID, which is 2020, I would follow them, do interviews, talk to the coach Peter King, and all of that. But it was obvious for me that Rohan Watson had lots of talent. But as I said, not developed because of circumstances. He never made a champs final. So every year I'd root for Rohan Watson. Every year I'd be on here on KLAS and I'd say, Rohan Watson, got him dead now, and he's going to make the finals and watch out for Rohan Watson. And he finished 9th, he finished 10th, he finished 11th overall, missing out on the finals just by an year. But I'd say to myself, you know what, one day, it is going to happen. So when he got recruited for MVP, I knew that the journey to him being a champion had started. And so I'm early in the year, 663 for the 60 meters, and I said, yes, he's going to pull his personal best now. Went to MVP with a personal best 1071. Got his personal best down this year, or last year, to 1040. So when I saw that 663, I said, yeah, man, I'm going to run 10-1 this year. I'm going to run 10-1. Then I saw him early at a meet, I believe at Stadium. He ran 10-1, 10-1-2. And I said, no, man, 10-1-2 already. He's not supposed to be here so yet. So I knew sub 10 was coming. I spoke with Coach Paul Francis, right? Spoke with Coach Paul Francis, and I said to Coach, I don't care if he makes the team. I don't care if he finishes top 3 or top 6. I just want a sub 10 all time. And that's all I requested. But he outdid himself. He ran sub 10 not once but twice and won. And I'll tell you this, folks, based on what I saw for Rohan Watson and reviewing the tapes, he's going to run faster. He's in Europe now, he's in Italy with the MVP camp. And I can tell you, they are drilling this young man down to the sharp point. And he's going to run faster. And he's going to surprise a lot of folks at the World Championships. Because a lot of folks don't know who he is. They're not afraid of him. They don't know anything about him. He may just pull a Shelley and Fraser Price. I'm not saying he's going to do it. Let me just say it. I'm not putting any pressure on the young man. But he may surprise some folks at the World Championship. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting him to surprise some folks. I know everybody is disappointed with Akeem Blake. I know everybody expected Oblique to run faster. But let me tell you, Jamaica, in Rohan Watson, we have a gem that has been discovered by the MVP camp, and he's been refined. And when it is his time to shine, he will shine brightly. He's not yet there where he's shining brightly. They're getting the fine tuning in, getting everything in. But certainly at this stage, it is a fairy tale story for me. From a youngster who's tried year after year after year to make a champ final, and now is the national senior champion. Never make a character team. Never make none of them team that took to World Juniors. Not at all. Nothing. From nothing to being the national champion. I want you all to put some respect on his name because he is going to be special. I'll give you a little story. I don't want to take any more of it, but I'll give you a little story. Sean Grant, who was my co-commentator. Sean Grant, who's my co-commentator on KLAS. He's a little spy, you know. He's a little spy. He's the one that is going to go to the camp, the MVP camp and the GC fasters and the racers and everything. When he went out to MVP, he came back with a story and he told me everybody at MVP had already packed up and left the training session. And the only person out there training still was Rohan Watts. This youth is dedicated. Remember, I tell her, everybody gone home, you know, and him alone out there. I'll say no more.
He's hungry. Wade, thank you, Daveon.
Hungry. He's never made a dollar off track and field. He's never made a dollar off track and field. He's never been in any money race. He never make dollar off a track and field. Him hungry. He must come for somebody food this year.
Facts.
For me, Sanzett, this was a major upset. I did not know Rohan Watson. I probably have known the most about Rohan Watson from listening the last few minutes ago. Well, Daveon would have known more because he would have been watching him for the last few years. But for me, he would definitely have to come through, and I'm hoping for the best because it's always good to have new talent in the sport. I'm hoping that he will come through and not only just be a national champion, but live up to all that Daveon has had to say about him so far. It was a disappointing run for me personally because, as I indicated before, I expected the field to go a different way. I expected a faster time from the field based on what we would have spoken about the last time. However, I'm also excited because what we're now looking at is a new set of guys coming through. Let's talk about the fact that when you look on the guys who lined up in the finals, I think the only person in the finals who would have made a championship team before would have been Taekwondo Tracy. Everybody else would have been persons who are just coming through. So therefore, we're changing the guards right then and there, and that says a lot. When you look at a semi-final where you had 3 guys going sub 10, you had Katrin Golson going sub 10, you had Keyshawn Thompson as well as the national champion Rohan Watson going sub 10, and you had Akeem Blake and Seville at 10 flat. It spoke a lot about what was to come. It's a little disappointing that Keyshawn Thompson never came out. I've seen some articles that this was always the plan from the MVP team for him, to just run a fast race and they will make some adjustment. I've seen where he is in the lineup for one of the upcoming Diamond League. So I'm looking forward to see what he has to offer. I mean, he's coming from MVP. MVP is the club of surprises. So I am not so much surprised because they've always had something in the bag. And looking at the overall championship, you would have seen like, I think 60% of the national team is from MVP. So it tells you a lot about what they are doing over there. For me, I am going to hold my comment on the national champion until I have seen more. I'm going to take the approach I took in 2008. I knew nothing about Shelley and Fraser Price, and now she is the talk of the town. So I'm going to be as optimistic as Daveon is on the national champion. What I will say, though, is I'm excited to see what we have to offer in this event. Very young guys, as I indicated before, coming through. And at such a young stage, with such young guys coming through, I think we will actually dent the international track and field world as it relates to the 100 meter. We are getting back to where we were for the last 10, 11, 12 years. And that is very good. The guys are looking good. I know everybody's after the camp working on what they're to work on. But I also want to look at the fact that look at some of the guys who were not even in that final, or some who were in the final but didn't come through. You're talking about a Baraji and Krume. You're talking about a Sanjay Davidson. You're talking about even the same Keyshawn Thompson who did not come out. You're talking about Akeem Blake who didn't make the final. We are heading in the right direction when it comes to the men's 100 meter. I want that to matriculate over into the 200 meters as well, where we can just redevelop that sprint program that we had there.
All right, thank you so much, Wade. I don't hear anybody talking about the 100 female or the junior athletes, but that's okay. Nick,
I mean,
anything you want to share?
on the junior side, Tiana Lee Terry Long got very close to her PB. I think she ran 11:47. Her PB is 11:45. That's a very good run there. We had Tremaine running, winning on the under 18 side. Dunkley winning on the under 20 side. Wolf, Abigail Wolf, she really combat that field to take that title
Mhm.
there. I think when it comes to sprinting overall, we are looking good. We are definitely looking good. You would have thought that after champs, you would have seen some slower times, but all the athletes are actually running close to their PB after exams would have just taken place. Training would have reduced significantly. It says one, we are conditioning our young athletes at a good level, and two, what we're seeing is really close to natural talent.
That too. All right, so Nicholas, thank you so much, guys. By the way, thank you for sharing. Nick, I have just two questions for you. Just two tiny questions for you. My first question is, what are some guidance as a sports psychologist that you would provide for some of the athletes that actually made the team
Okay.
and are actually preparing for the world championship?
Yeah.
Before you answer, Nick, I just want to say hello, Andrew Hudson, the 200-meter national champion, is in the chat. Welcome. We were just talking about you. Welcome, and we want to tell you
And
personally,
congratulations.
congratulations. Yeah, big up yourself, and thank you so much for joining. All right, so Nick, so Andrew is here, so he would be hearing your advice as well. What are some of the guidance you have for the athletes that would make the team and they're actually in preparation now for we're actually 36 days away from the World Championship in Budapest. What are some of the guidance? Talk to us.
Yeah. So unlike the other two, um, the two analysts, not the other two, the two analysts, that area you kind of feel more confident, than the assessment. You guys did a great job. But working with athletes, a lot of people goal is to make the team, right? The goal is to make the team and them achieve the goal. Some people tend to spend a lot more time celebrating than sharpening them tools. So the advice that I would share with that I have shared with my clients and encourage other people is, listen, at the highest level it's no longer about talent. Everybody have qualified coaches, everybody have talent, everybody have great facilities and all of that. No, it's a mindset. So your job is to get your mindset right going into this competition.
Yeah.
If you haven't started setting goals for the championship, now is the time that you have to set some goals. Again, as we shared earlier, some people goal was to make the team, while some people goal is to be on the top shelf.
Yeah.
If your mindset is not to be on the top shelf, then you need to reevaluate and
Realign your
readjust your
mindset.
thought process with that in mind,
Right.
right? Because nothing is written on stone. And we're seeing that in this over the championship that people have some fast times coming into the championship and don't make it to the second round or don't make it to the final. So our job as athletes is to be start locked in mentally to become to compete at the highest level and see themselves on top of the podium, including
Right.
visualization, the way you need to talk to yourself, the goals that you're setting for yourself. We have to evaluate and make sure that those are in alignment with being on that top shelf.
Right. All right, thank you for that, Nick. I have another question. What suggestion would you have for some of the athletes that they competed in the championship, but they did not make the team? They might
This
have
is
gone on to the finals, but they didn't make the team. They might have been in the semifinals. They might have been out for injury or whatever it is. What are some suggestions you have for some of those athletes?
I know that's a good question. I know it's very sorry. Um, it's heartbreaking. One of the things that I help my clients to understand is that an athlete is only a component of who you are. So just because you did not perform the way you want to perform doesn't make you a failure. It just means you fail at this task. But it doesn't make you the individual a failure. Because especially if you went out there and gave it your best effort. Some days your best is not good enough. It's not like the other people that are competing haven't been training to perform well also. So I encourage my clients to look at the things that they do well. What did you do well in your competition? What are based on that, write it down so we can continue doing those things. What did I not do well? If I could change one thing to help me get a better result, what would that be? And that's where it takes some serious thinking and assessing and working with the team to figure out what is one area that you feel like if I improve on this, I can take my performance to the next level. Like we mentioned earlier, that the season is not finished for some athletes. Just because you didn't perform well at the championship doesn't mean the season has to end for you. There are
Right.
many, there are a lot more competition out there, and I can't remember what year it is, but Penny Harris did not make her national team, and 2 weeks later she broke the 100-meter record, hurdles record, world record. So just because you did not perform well at this meet does not mean your season has to be done,
Right.
especially if you came close. So keep your head up, reevaluate, not necessarily go back to the drawing board, but make the adjustments and keep going,
Yeah.
right? People with a tougher mindset are going to keep pushing through. The people who are distraught and associate winning with their self-worth, I am available. Reach out to me. It's a mind game on Instagram. Nicholas R. Powell on Facebook. Reach out to me if you need some additional support, and I can also refer you to some other sports psychologists, mental coaches to help you build that confidence. And again, mental coaching is not just for athletes who are not performing well. We also work with athletes who are performing well to help them create the goals and the mindset needed to be consistent over time. So again, mental training is not just for athletes who are not getting good performance. We work with all athletes at all spectrum and coaches at all spectrum. So if you feel that you didn't perform as well, reassess, set some goals for the rest of the season, whether it's going to be recovery or get back into competition. But we have to brush that off and keep moving.
All right, thank you so much, Nicholas. I'm seeing in the comment, make adjustment and keep moving forward. We probably should hashtag that. One person says, great advice, Nicholas. We just want to thank you again, Daveon, for showing up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, ever faithful Wade Weathers. That's my friend, people. I appreciate you for showing up, as always. And thank you so much, Nick, my friend, for showing up, and just giving some wonderful advice, because a lot of people think that, as you mentioned, that sports psychology or getting help is really for persons that are not performing, but sometimes you're performing at your best, and you need that help. You need somebody to talk to keep you focused and grounded and all of that thing. And it's not just a sports psychologist, people. He's a photography or photographer psychologist. because I go to him for advice as well. I would see him in the stadium, and that's the good thing about him. Anywhere you see Nick and you ask him a question, he's gonna give you an answer, and he's gonna go deeper than just the question that you ask. So thank you again for sharing. And remember, people, to go subscribe to the channel, go share. Big up yourself again, Anjo, for joining. That's Anjo Hudson. And comment. Let us know what you want to hear from us. And remember, going forward every Thursday until Budapest, we're going to be having a live panel where we're going to be talking about what's happening. We're not going to just be talking about Jamaican athletes. We're going to be talking about all the other athletes around the world. So we want to see what they're doing. We want to hear what they're doing. So again, thank you so much, guys, for sharing, and do have yourself a wonderful evening. Oh, this is the young people heart. Yeah. So thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Big up yourself, Renee. She had to jump off to get some stuff done. So thank you again, guys, and do have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Yeah, man, much love.
All right, Sanzett.
All right, bye. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure, guys.
Same here.
Yeah.